Welcome to Chik Chat, the podcast where the girl with many titles talks about life, the good and the bad, and everything around it. We're going to sit, chat, share life stories and experiences, from business to relationship. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Chik Chat Podcast. Today I am joined by G once again.
Hello.
Hello. So we'll get straight into it because me and my timing, as always, I am completely off and I've got other things to do.
If you don't want me to look at it for the whole episode.
Right, do you know what's actually going to be funny about this? Because let me just double check. Okay, so what's funny about this is the fact that we've literally just gone through recording in front of a camera and they told you what to look at and what not to look at, and somehow you're still...
I know, but if it's there, I'm going to look at the time.
Well, the time right now doesn't really matter, does
different.
it? Is it? Okay, well, we're going to tell you about that in a second. So, before we get into the exciting news that we have, what is your challenge of the week or your tip of the week? Oh, sorry, for those of you that are new, we start with the tip of the week or the challenge of the week. In the middle, we ask...
the week?
Or a challenge of the week.
Oh, okay.
We then ask how we are actually doing, and then we end with a win of the week. So, tip of the week or challenge of the week?
Challenge of the week is I'm going back to work tomorrow after 4 days off.
It was more than 4 days, wasn't it?
It's going to be busy. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 days off.
6 days off?
So,
yeah,
that'll be alright. It's just going to be busy and I'll have loads to do. So, on tip of the week, I'll do two. Why not?
Go on.
If you're making homemade pizza, you can do it in a pan with some oil.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe that you actually argued that point.
But it still works on a pizza stone.
Yeah, it works on a pizza stone, but I want it drenched in oil.
Okay.
So this is because I had been saying I want a Pizza Hut style pizza where it's like deep dish and it's cooked in oil so that the base is like it's fried. And the pizza connoisseur here decided that wouldn't work or work very well. But you were proven wrong the other day when you made me a great pizza. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, so my challenge of the week is... Do you know what? Today I'm going to do a tip of the week. I should have thought about this beforehand. Yeah, I'm going to do a tip of the week. And my tip of the week kind of follows on from last week's. Last week, and you've not been listening to my podcast. Shocking. Now we're spending more time together. I know. You need to find some time to just go away and listen and give me feedback. Well, anyway, last week's podcast I was talking about listening to your body more and finding your purpose and what that's kind of looks like for me the past couple of years. And my tip of the week, is around basically still listening to your body, but also realising that 99% of the time, whenever we feel off, our brain is trying to preserve our energy, preserve us. So it'll make us think that things are wrong when ultimately they're not. Because I keep thinking, why am I always just so drained and tired? And that's because I'm constantly thinking about, what needs to be done for the business, what I need to do content-wise. Always comes back to the business in general. And before I can even start doing something, I feel tired. And then I don't feel motivated. Then later on, I feel like I start to kick myself. So, yeah, my tip of the week is just to remind yourself that your brain is trying to protect you, but ultimately it's also trying to sabotage you.
Yeah, you got to keep going. You got to get up.
Yeah, exactly. So, getting straight into it, we've got exciting news. What's been going on the past few weeks?
I mean, you're probably better to explain it.
Oh, I thought I'd give you a chance. Okay, well, I'll do one and you do another one.
Because mine will be typically understated. So, you can build it up.
Okay, well, I'll start with the first one. The first one is we are moving in together.
I've been on already talked about that now.
No.
Okay.
I think we've talked to other people about it, but not on the podcast. Yeah. And I've kind of alluded to it online, but I wanted it to be I wanted this podcast to be specifically for the exciting news that we have, which is obviously not just moving in together. What was that smile about?
Nothing.
Well, yeah, I wanted it to just be a little celebration one. So yeah, one of them is we are moving in together. We have told my parents. That was interesting.
You told your parents?
Yeah, I told my parents. I told my mum on Mother's Day, which was interesting, coming from a Catholic background, Catholic Zambian background. But no, they've been
Yeah, they've been
Like,
really
yeah,
good.
they've been good about
Your
it.
dad's talked to me about it, and
Yeah,
he seems fine. Seems interested.
yeah.
So,
And it was never something that was going to be a negative thing to them. It's just that they'd have rather we did it when we were
weren't
married.
living in sin.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Just as well, I'm not a Christian.
A non-believer. Oh. To be fair, you've also gone to church before, so I feel like you've got yourself a few brownie points. I can't really say anything.
And I make them dinner most Sundays.
Yeah, and you make them dinner most Sundays, so yeah. That's been making me laugh, because like right now...
It's just expected.
I don't even think it's not that it's expected, it's now that you are one of their children, therefore you slot into doing the things that their children do. And as you've seen between me and Mlenga, we do quite a lot for our parents. Not that they don't do anything for us, obviously they do. However, in African families, there's kind of a ranking order of who does what. And if you weren't there, it would have been me doing the, with Dad doing the cooking and the tidying up and whatever else. So, to be fair, I'm glad you're part of this equation, because one, it means that we eat at decent time every Sunday. Two, it means I can at least tell myself I'm going to do some work, and whether I do it or not, I've tried, and I don't need to worry about the cooking, and then it's just about tidying up, which is great. So yeah. Well, how do you feel about us moving in together? Even though it's not gone as smoothly as we'd hoped, but...
Well, I mean, I feel like we're past that point of moving in together. Do you know what I mean? As you said, it's not gone entirely smoothly, but it didn't. I mean, like, it's a big step in any relationship, but it didn't really feel like a big step.
Yeah, it's not at all. It's been really funny because for me, the past few weeks, obviously, we've been moving your stuff in. And I don't. If you're watching the podcast, you'll see in the background, like, there's probably a guitar poking out of one of the corners. But yeah, I just feel like it felt like we already lived together, because we would have been back and forth anyway. But now it's like every week there's just more of your stuff here, so it I suppose it just feels more like home. Like, I got up the other day, was it Saturday? And so we've got the TV kind of lights up and it's different colours. And then we were kind of near enough in the dark. We just had the lamp on. So the lighting looked great. I'd bought a few plants from B&Q recently that, like, I've just been loving, that are currently hanging, like the opposite way, you can't see them now. However, yeah, I just got up and looked, and, like, we've got a little, like, mini jungle / music-centred room, and even, like, my office. I feel like I'm just in a cool house. Like, if my younger self could see where I was living now, and who I was living with, like, upstairs in the office, there's a whole shelf dedicated to your comic books. And I was putting them up, and I was like, this is so cool, because this is literally what I'd have imagined, or would have tried to imagine my home looking like, but it would have never been this good, if it makes sense. So yeah, it's cool that you're adding that to it.
And I mean, this is my excited face. This is my every face.
Which makes me laugh, because my niece is so the same. Like, if she's happy, excited, she just looks like, okay, yeah, everything's all right. Whereas when she's super excited, you see the big smile. So yeah, once in a while I'm seeing a big smile. I just need reminding that you are super excited. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Next bit of exciting news. I feel like you should say this and then we can build on from it.
We're doing a TV show.
We are. Do you know what's exciting? I feel like the way that you just did it is how we're going to announce doing our own TV show. And we'll come back to that in a second. However, yeah, we're going to be on TV. So the premise of the show is that they've taken 10 families. We are the only ones from Northern Ireland. Everyone else is from down south. Or the Republic of Ireland, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, there are going to be 10 couples. Us from the north, 9 from the south. And they are going to be covering us for the guts of a year, following our lives. And the show's... Do you know what's really funny? We're going to tell you as much as we know, but I don't know how much we're allowed to tell you. Like, I asked the producer if I could do, like, a behind-the-scenes for my content, and he said yeah. However, I've had nothing else, so hopefully we're not giving away, like, too many spoilers. But it's also a good promo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, hyping it up for the next year, because we'll have loads of behind-the-scenes stuff. But yeah, so the premise is...
It's just looking at your life over the course of a year in 2023, isn't it?
But also the fact that most couples now can't settle down and buy a house, get married and have a child. Like, it's really expensive to do all three. So where are we in that stage? How are we going to work it out financially, emotionally, and so on? Especially, like, our situation is I'm self-employed and you, like, you're in a near enough governmental, you're in a government job.
Government officer,
And then, the fact that also, like, are we going to be looking to get married, have kids? We're only like a year, getting to a year in our relationship. What's it going to look like when we get to the end of this kind of year, like to the end of 2023? So that's quite exciting. Do you know what actually makes me laugh? So I was talking to one of the girls I work with this morning, Pia, and we're talking about content, and I was asking for just some ideas because I keep doing like, I'm not that I'm into fashion, but as I'm trying to work out what I want my look to be, I do buy a lot of secondhand stuff, and I've got, like, even what I'm wearing now was secondhand. I think it was like £3, but I'm trying to, like, put together content that shows that thrifted or secondhand stuff can be good. Like the stuff that we bought the other day, and two of them had the tags on from the shops. So it's stuff like that I kind of want to show. And I was saying that you picked out my outfit last weekend, and if you saw anything in terms of, like, format or ideas that would work for either a couple or just for me, send them through. And she sent a couple's one across, and we were talking about how it's great that you get involved in creating content. And I was saying it's really funny because Sophia's the same, like, he hates being in front of the camera, and I was like, he's just like you, hates being in front of the camera, and yet we're going to be on TV, you're on the podcast, we do create content together. So it's really nice that we also get to experience that together. But yeah, that's been fun. So how did you find the process?
The TV thing?
Yeah.
I mean, they were lovely guys for a start.
Yeah, they were.
It helped, they were nice and calm and had a bit of crack, and so they were, like, lovely guys, interesting guys, nice to talk to. But it's weird being interviewed, like, as somebody who doesn't really like talking about themselves. It was different being, like, directly interviewed, and I guess the person that I am, like, a bit, like, been thinking about, did I say the right thing, did I say enough, or, like, that sort of stuff. But I mean, it was fine. It was, I mean, it was like a fun way to spend the day. It's like something different, and even just from, like, seeing them do their thing and the setup, and like, even just down to the equipment they had and all. And I mean, it was cool. It was, like, it was interesting to see them, what they do, and then being interviewed separately was like, funny too. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I found it interesting because, so for a bit of context, we had a guy that's just a camera guy. I'm saying just, but he was, like, he's clearly good at, like, really good at what he does. Freelancer, and, well, I'm not sharing the names just in case I don't want that. And then the other guy is a producer that's worked on The Irish Gogglebox, worked on, what was the show that your friend was on?
Oh, Don't Tell the Bride.
Don't Tell the Bride. Some, like, SAS show that was filmed in South Africa. So he's done quite a lot of, like, reality style TV, So I think, I agree with you. I've been on TV before, and that was nerve-wracking, and that was just me, and that was in the kitchen. So you can imagine, like, me, a table, and two other people, and, like, the lights, like we had it when you're super warm, super awkward. However, and that only ended up being, like, that was a day of filming and ended up being, like, a 5-minute segment. And I still found this nervous because, like, you think, did I say the right things? I didn't want anything to look like it came across like I was talking about it in a negative way, because we talk about everything from culture to family to us moving in together and our parents, like, my parents' reactions. We talked about, like, Unc and Michelle and, like, our whole family dynamics. And in my mind, I don't want anything to come off, and not that they'd say anything like that, but it's just in case, like, I said something that made it sound a bit weird. But I think,
no, I mean, it was all good fun. Yeah,
it was. I enjoyed it. But I think it was also nice to kind of think about the future, because it got me to reflect quite a lot. And when I was talking about, like, maybe this isn't the last announcement we're going to be making in terms of saying, we're going to be on TV. Like I was saying, I want us to do a food and travel show, because I think it'd be so interesting to get a mix of cultures, and the fact that between our household, my brother's household, my mum and dad's household, the dynamics of what a man and a woman should do are completely thrown out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And my family's the only family I know that do it and have done it consistently and in a way that works for us. But even in all of our ways, it's still different.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we've got a cleaner. My mum tried it for a while, didn't like it. It wasn't up to her standard, yeah. My mum and dad like have their own way of doing things. They do quite a lot of stuff together. They've got certain jobs that are completely split. I feel like we just kind of pick up what needs doing. Like we've talked about doing separate jobs. That's not kind of works out at all. But yeah, and then you've got Mlenga and Chloe that have a child. So their setup and how they're doing things is different. And the fact that when they look at their budget, they have to factor in that most of their money is going towards their child. So yes, they might want a cleaner and other things, but they have to kind of figure it out themselves.
2 dogs. Yeah,
and the 2 dogs. But again, like I was saying yesterday to you, that like their kitchen is mostly pink.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that I suppose I don't know whether I take it for granted or I'm just used to how like we do things as a family, but there's a lot of stuff that I think, from food to culture to travel to everything we're talking about, we have a synergy, but it's a synergy that I think would be interesting for people to see, and even just having the conversations like we do now. So I really want this to kind of start, like I want this podcast to remain mine, but I do want to bring in elements of like food, and like whilst mum and dad are away, we'll use their kitchen because they've got an island, and we'll see what that setup's like. Last week I tried a different setup for the podcast in the office, so if I'm doing it myself, I've got like a whole new kind of like bougie looking setup. When like this week, the way that we're doing it is because the cameraman set us up like this, and I loved how it looked. I loved the pictures, everything. I was like, oh, actually, this is going to work better than how we were doing it before, where you just got like a blank wall behind. Because when it's just me, you can see kind of in the corner, that's different. So I feel like there's just loads of stuff that I looked at from that experience and thought, this is so exciting to reflect on and go, actually, by the end of this year, not only are we potentially going to have smashed whatever goals that we have separately and together, but we'll be doing way more than I'd have thought at the beginning of the year, because I didn't expect this to happen. But this happened, and I was even because I was talking to one of my clients before we started filming, and I manage his personal brand, and we were talking about the power of a personal brand, and when you're clear on your goals and what you want out of life. Like one of my goals for this year, my 30 list was I want to be on TV, and I've been walking around saying I'm going to be on TV. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. And the day that I got messaged about this was when I was in Huddersfield doing a talk about being a content creator and how it opens the portal to so many jobs. So it's, yeah, I find it really interesting on my end that there's this whole new world that ultimately could open up to us. Like you made the joke at the beginning of the year about, oh, I want to be the most famous person in the world. Not that you're going to be the most famous person in the world, but be careful what you say out loud as well. Because ultimately, for someone that doesn't like being in front of the camera or being the centre of attention, you're in a world where you are the centre of attention. Well, obviously in my world as well, but yeah, do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I find all of that interesting, because to me, as I create content, if I can make it comfortable for you, also it helps me with my clients. Because if I can show them that you're, like I was talking to one of them, was it yesterday or the day before, saying that they're the same, they hate being in front of the camera. And when we first did a little bit of filming in front of the camera, I made sure that they were comfortable, that we did it in a way that was going to be okay for them. But that doesn't mean that they can't be pushed outside of their comfort zone. And you're the perfect example. And that's how I sell my services, by saying, I'm telling you to do something that I have done, we have done, and this is how we did it. And normally that's kind of what works. So all of that, yeah, I just find it's not just about, for me, it's not just about being on the show. It's about getting to show what our lives are like, building something that I haven't seen, but I've seen separate bits from other people that have inspired me, but then us making it our own and then turning it into something else altogether that's going to be our life. I find that cool.
I mean, I just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
I don't really put too much into it. Like I obviously would never have done the TV thing if not for you. But yeah, I mean, it was good fun, lovely guys, so it'll just be interesting to see, like, I guess the final product.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a good bit away yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be out till next year.
watch it on Sky so I can just skip past myself.
You're not going to skip past yourself. We want to watch all of that. Yeah, because they got us to... So they did some filming where it was the two of us kind of sat like this, just having a chat. They were asking us questions, and then some of it was separate. So the point's supposed to be that you can have a laugh, but you're also talking about serious things and things like finances, how we work things out, how we split chores, and even just like we were talking at one point about... There was a joke about like icks, and I sat for ages going, yeah, but I can't think of anything.
Mm-mm.
And it's little things like that end up being really funny because you sat there thinking, is there anything that would be even close to being an ick? Like, how do we manage our relationship? How do we balance things? So I think there's going to be like a humorous element to it, but also like you do get to cover some quite serious topics.
And I mean, plus I don't subscribe to that nonsense where you actively look for something to put you off somebody.
But it's not that you're looking for something to put you off something. Like we were talking, what were we watching?
If you think like that, then you are.
But then we were watching what was it Tiger Belly or one of those that was talking about, they were talking about red flags.
Bad Friends
podcast.
But
but surely a red flag is the same as an ick, or similar to being an ick. So it's not even that it's something you'd actively think I'm looking for something. However, if it presents itself, you go, oh.
Well, from what I've seen about it, if somebody says something's giving them the ick, then that's it, over.
But that's because you were watching like Love Island. I don't think other people think of it in those terms.
I just think it's a bit of a silly notion. Like a red flag's different.
So would you think an ick's something that you could potentially get over? Versus a red flag being like, okay, actually no.
Well, as I understand it, it doesn't seem to be that. But I would never think in those terms anyway.
I think it's just how things are worded. And how we, what we take from the meaning. Because social media... do you know what? This is also what I find fascinating about the fact that my life is marketing, social media, human psychology, weird things. And you are so removed from that world. However, you're kind of in... Like, you've dipped your toe in the world. But enough for you to just be in it. You don't
escape, like, popular culture things. Even if you read the news or... you know, watch podcasts or whatever, like you pick these things up, but I just think it's a bit daft.
Yeah. Well, anyway, glad I don't give you an ick, although I did mention an ick on your part. Did you even get asked the ick question? Oh, okay. Well, we won't give any spoilers away, but clearly mine's not an ick where I turn around and be like, it's over. It's not a red flag. Or, actually, that's a good point. Like, I suppose I look at icks as what's something that you'd rather the person not do. However, for me, an ick's not serious enough.
Like whistling on a little Zambian song all the time.
No, that one's not an ick, because, like, you genuinely enjoy that song. But there are times I would prefer not to listen to it. But that's not a bad one. I can deal with that compared to some other things. But you don't really, like, do things that would qualify as icky.
Okay.
There you go.
Good to know.
Okay, so, how are you doing?
Okay, I guess.
What number are you today?
I guess maybe like a 5 out of 10.
Not too bad.
Yeah, middling.
Yeah, interesting.
I guess that's mostly just the going back to work. But I also applied for a new job, so...
Oh yeah, when did you find out about that?
Application's closed tomorrow, I think. I've also got another one that'll finish later.
Exciting.
Maybe.
Lovely. And when's the closing date for that one?
Tomorrow.
What is it?
At noon.
Oh, very specific. Nice. Anything else you want to elaborate on?
No.
No? You're just alright, yeah? Yeah, I'm alright.
I didn't ask. How are you?
No, how am I? Yeah, I'm alright. I feel like my brain is doing that thing where there are loads of things that I want to get done and I just don't have the energy or motivation to try and do it. So I'm trying to break everything into like little chunks.
Sure. Not to worry.
So he says this, or this is one of his main sayings, and I am not a big fan. If this is the closest... Is it...
But what if I said Hakuna Matata?
I feel like that would at least
Same
put a
thing.
bit of a spin on it.
Racist.
How is that racist?
I prefer the African one.
But I feel like, because it's just different. Like, I've heard Sure Not to Worry for nearly a year. I feel like it needs switching up every so often. But no, it's not bad. I think it's just because, rather than you say Sure Not to Worry, I'd rather you either give advice or just go, oh.
Would you?
That's another one. But that's only because you do it in like a, would you? Will you? Do you? So yeah, I'm okay. I'm frustrated with myself. I'm just a bit annoyed today. But otherwise, yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay. Yeah.
So you're going out, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going out. Honestly, if it wasn't that I had appointments with these people, I would not be going out.
Yeah.
I would have found a reason to cancel because it's cold, the weather isn't great, and to say it's a bank holiday, like, this is the thing, every time it's a bank holiday, the weather's just rubbish.
Usually.
And yes, you guys are going to listen to this or see this when it's Thursday, but yeah, we're currently recording and filming this on bank holiday Tuesday, which is a bank holiday in the north, yeah. Yeah, which is making me laugh because everyone else has gone back to work, and I've seen a few like work emails come through, and I'm like, that's a problem for tomorrow. However, tomorrow I will be travelling, so we'll see how long that's a problem for. Could be Thursday. But yeah, okay. So, anything else currently going on? What have we been doing this last week?
Not much.
Not much. We did go for a walk.
We did go for a little walk, yeah.
And a quick shop. Went into some charity shops.
Did a fair bit of cooking.
Yeah, I've done a bit of cooking.
Made a wee butterbean curry.
That was lovely. Yeah.
Picked up some pilau rice.
Mhm.
Did homemade pizza.
Yeah, that was good.
So mostly cooking and taking it easy.
What did we do Friday? The weeks just merge into one.
Yeah.
I feel like as soon as we see Uncle Michelle, it then just blurs into Sunday with my mum and dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then before you know it, it's back to work.
I made the pizza on Friday, didn't I?
I think so, yeah. But then you weren't working Friday, and I didn't really... Like, I did a bit of work Friday. It must have just been a chill day.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a chill day. We had a bed day yesterday.
And then we
watched TV.
Football on Sunday.
Yeah, my dad's, mum and dad's.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Finished The Wire.
Oh, yeah.
We did. That's making me sad.
It's brilliant though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so good.
I like the look of that new series, Beef.
Yeah, Beef looks good.
Ali Wong and Stephen Yeun, is it? And Andrew Santino's in it. I was watching the trailer and I thought, oh, we'll watch this. And then as soon as I saw Santino, I'm definitely going to watch it.
That's what made me do it, yeah. And
he was brilliant in Dave.
Yeah.
He was brilliant in the Kevin Hart movie. Saw something else that he was in.
And do you know what's really funny? Andrew Santino, if it wasn't for you, and you like it's kind of like what I did with you on Love Island, because you just like, you watch the podcasts that you watch, and you kind of have your own routine of watching those. So because you'd have it on, that's kind of what made me keep trying. And then before I knew it, I really like him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. The special cheeseburger's brilliant as well. I've
not watched his special actually.
It's on Netflix. Finishes with a great joke.
Oh, that's what we can also do tonight, because I want to watch The Birds.
Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah, because I'm really...
Brad Krishner.
Oh, is that who it's with?
No, Bart Kreischer.
Oh, okay, I was going to say. I was like, what? Is this another comedian? No. But yeah, I'm really enjoying... Like, I like that you've got me into these comedians. So far, no one from the north of Ireland. Well, to be fair, no one from the island of Ireland. No UK comedians. The kind of American ones that you like. Like Bert and Tom, love. Christina, I really like. However, I feel like I love Bert.
Yeah.
So anything Bert's doing at the moment, I'm like, okay.
And his movie's coming out in April, but so far no sign of it here.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. Because do you know what? I keep looking at like ways that we could create content that... So I went viral the other week, and it was off a video I did about... Like, Molly May had, like, done a video talking about, like, her experience being a new mother. And I was then talking about, like, her proving that you need a present partner and, like, how important your partner is when you're doing all of that. And obviously, is that something that, like, we've been talking about and thinking about and, like, moving forward in the future. The TV shows come around at the right time, because this is the conversation we're having. But I was then sat thinking, okay, how could I... Like, what other, like, content could I be creating that's going to help us get paid, basically. But it just makes me laugh because I then do sit and think that one day we might end up being in like rooms with these people that we're currently talking about on here.
No, maybe not Bert. He'll probably die.
Oh, no, don't say that. Well, he's unhealthy, but didn't he talk about like wanting to like exercise a little bit?
He does exercise all the time.
Oh, does he?
It's his alcohol consumption that's horrendous.
Oh. Okay, well, one day we might end up being in these rooms with these people, but I think it's cool that you've introduced this whole like new world that I get to look at and kind of see their setup of things. And
they're good podcasters.
Yeah, they are. They're really good podcasters, but they're funny as well. And there's just an element to everything they do. Even I was thinking of a specific one I've completely forgotten. Completely gone off my head. But anyway, yeah, the point is, like, yeah, I learn a lot from them. Oh, the Doozy one, the Doozy podcast.
The AI one.
I enjoyed that because it's AI, but I like the whole setup and how everything kind of works.
The AI runs it. I mean, the AI devises the segments, gives them activities to do, has got sponsors with brands, and is doing all sorts of stuff. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fascinating. But I think all of that, I learned so much from that as well, because when you're looking at the end of the day, AI is just picking up loads of information from the internet, and that's what they talk about, but they've still got their kind of segments, like we do. Like the beginning of ours is what's your challenge of the week or your win of the week, so like how are you feeling, what's your win of the week, and so on. But yeah, I feel like it always kind of just makes me feel like I'm in the right place I need to be, and whilst this is still a passion project and it's just a bit of fun, when I really do want to invest a lot more time into it, like I've done bits of SEO and like the team have kind of like picked bits up, but right now it's not, I don't sit and think about it too much. Like I know kind of what I want to talk about. We turn up and either you're here or you're not, or I'm with someone else, and we just sit and chat about it, and then it's done because it's fun. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, another interesting thing is I'm about to drop you off at my parents whilst I go off and do my own thing.
Yeah.
My dad called in yesterday, and first of all, you're like me, you don't like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
So not only do you get a phone call, you answer the phone call. So I was like, what's going on? I assumed it was Unc. And then I heard the voice and I was like, that's not Unc's voice. That sounds like my dad's voice.
Yeah.
And I hear you saying, okay, see you tomorrow. And I was like, what do you mean see you tomorrow? Because I'd made it clear I was not going to see them today. Or if I was going to drop off the things they need before they go away. Or do it tomorrow before I go away. And actually, it's a good thing I'll probably do it today. I'll see them today because my travels tomorrow have completely changed. So yeah, that's funny. But yeah, so you're going to be spending the day with both my parents. Last week it was just the day with my dad. How's that?
It's fine, I don't know.
Just fine?
Well, I mean, it's nice to do a bit of cooking, chatting about food, and ultimately have a nice dinner at the end of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's nice that I can just leave you two. The fact I'm going to leave you three together. Like, that's really nice for me.
Mom's probably still packing though, so...
Yeah, probably still packing. Or tidying up, cleaning. But she'll give you a bit of time. But yeah, I find that really nice, because at least you feel free. And it's not like I don't feel free with Uncle Michelle as well. Like, I love that. Like, I just went and sat with him the other week for ages. Like, I didn't want to leave. I was like, I can't be bothered to leave and just have to make an effort in life. So yeah, I enjoy that. But hopefully you have fun. What are you cooking?
Well, your dad's cooking chicken, and I'm showing him how to do those spots that I do.
Oh, yeah.
I have
great.
an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
I'm gonna see if I can... Well, whenever he's roasting his chicken, I want to see how much room there is in the oven underneath it.
For the fat?
Yeah, maybe like roast some vegetables in there with it, and then make like a sauce. But we'll see.
My mouth's already watering. That's going to be great. Brilliant. Well, yeah, I'm taking myself off and technically, well, it's like a solo date, little pamper day-ish. / talking about the future and potential other work that might come up. So that'll be interesting. We'll see if that turns into anything, because that'll be a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll leave it here because I've just looked at the time and I definitely need to go. What has been your win of the week?
Taking my bandage off.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's looking quite good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, back to normal.
Yeah, I can do everything. It's still a bit tight around it, but
yeah,
it's it's mostly healed.
Yeah.
I haven't picked at it too much.
Nice. Yeah, it does look good. It's healed quicker than I was expecting. Like, it's still been a few weeks, but I didn't expect... after I looked at it...
Gash,
after I looked at it and there was like just a big chunk missing, I thought, this is going to take ages. Yeah. And then I saw how it had started to like pull itself back together, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
So
Yeah.
I had a neat scar anyway. Another one on the same hand.
Oh, yeah. It took you to A&E as well?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. What's my win of the week? My win of the week is actually what I was saying before. Just literally looking around the house the other day. The house was clean, well, tidy, bordering on clean, because Maggie wasn't here last week. So I did like a quick clean before they came. And yeah, just looking around and going, this is our home. We're making this our home, and it's such a cool home. I love how it's decorated. I love that it's got both of us, but it doesn't... Like, it makes me laugh because if someone did walk in and they saw, like, your African drums, your Jamaican flag, some of the things, they'd think I was dating a black guy.
Or they'd think it was yours.
Or they'd think it was mine, yeah. So the fact that, like, our lives just kind of come together in a way that makes so much sense, even how it looks. I love that. Like, your plants, everything's just...
We lost a couple, though.
I know, but I feel like the couple that were lost were down to your negligence. And that's why my plants are survivors, because they know sometimes I'm not going to get watered for a while. So they really do survive. But we'll get some new ones. Which is exciting. So yeah, my win of the week is just, I'm excited about how everything's looking, and I got to appreciate where we currently are, which was nice for me. Yeah.
Sweet.
Right, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me this week.
No problem.
I do plan on I've got guests lined up. I just haven't been able to send out emails and organise it all, because it's just, honestly, it's so much effort. And like I said, I just get drained really quickly. So we'll see how the next few weeks go. You'll probably be back on quite soon. But yeah, thanks for being on. And as always, keep liking, subscribing, doing everything that you do. If you've got any suggestions and things that you want us to talk about, that'd be great. And yeah, I will see you next week. Bye.